right, so, um, looks like James Gunn and Peter Safran have given us an update on Chapter 1 of the DCU. So let's just see what is happening. Let's start with the movies. And we are starting with Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow because Superman is done. I mean, it's a done deal, so no reason to give an update on that. So anyway, Gunn and Safran said that the Craig Gillespie directed Millie Alcock starring movie based on Tom King, Bilquis Evely, and Mateus Lopez's Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow is halfway through production. The release date, as previously announced, is June 26th, 2026. Okay, let me just check to make sure there's nothing about... No. All right. And just wanted to double check to make sure there wasn't anything about Superman. All right, next up is Clayface. With James Watkins in talks to direct and a solid Mike Flanagan script turned in, the goal is to start filming this summer. Said Safran, Clayface isn't widely known as Penguin or Joker, but we think his story is as deeply resonant, thrilling, and even more terrifying. The release date, September 11, 2026, is in the post-Labor Day frame, where Warner Brothers has rallied with genre movies like It, The Nun, and Beetlejuice. The pick is set in Hollywood and Gotham, but it's not clear if it will shoot in Southern California after the LA wildfires, a la Lanterns. Okay, so we have obviously a release date for that movie. So, and it's interesting that it's appearing in 2026 considering how late we even found out it's even a thing. Now, just as an aside, this blurb mentions Beetlejuice. Very good movie, but if you're expecting to see basically the original Beetlejuice, don't. There is comedy in there, but it's a bit more plot driven, a bit more serious than the first movie. So, I mean, there's still plenty of zaniness, but not quite as much. It's a bit more serious. But anyway, moving on to back to DCU. Oh, this is not DCU, but okay. The Batman 2. Matt Reeves has yet to turn in a script, but what from Gunn and Safran have read, they love it. Production outlook is end of the year 2025. The release date is October 1st, 2027. A weekend on which Warner Brothers still owns the domestic opening record with 2019's Joker, with $96.2 million. Now, a lot has been made about the Batman being, and all of Matt Reeves' Batman movies being an Elseworld story. But yet, they talk about James Gunn and Peter Safran loving the script. There was a rumored Arkham Asylum TV show, which was supposed to be Matt Reeves and James Gunn. So I'm wondering if they aren't slowly folding in Matt Reeves' Batman into the DCU. I guess that's possible. Because otherwise, why mention this? Unless, Deadline just, didn't point out that it's an Elseworld story. But the fact that they're even giving an update, it's like, why are you giving an Elseworld story update when the point is it's not part of your universe? So now I'm starting to think they aren't going to fold it in. Whether Matt Reeves decided that he wants to fold it in, or if because Robert Pattinson wants to be part of the DCU, that Matt Reeves was like, okay, fine, or how this is working out. But there's no mention of it being Elseworld, so I find it very interesting that they're even giving an update. Not Matt Reeves, but James Gunn and Peter Safran are giving the update. So, speaking of Batman, we have Batman Brave and the Bold. Gunn's other universe Batman. Wait, what? Separate from Reeves' universe. Okay, that answers that question. Remains in development. Andy Muschietti, or Muschietti, I'm not sure, will be the first one to see a script, said Gunn and Safran. They have a writer but didn't want to name him as it puts too much pressure on the guy. Batman Brave and the Bold centers on the Dark Knight and his son Damian Wayne as Robin, who is quite the firecracker. That's one way to describe Damian. The je ne sais quoi of the project is that Batman is unaware he has a son. Project is based on Grant Morrison's run of Batman. Okay, so this is him finding out that he has a son, and Damian, being a little assassin, manages to finagle his way into Robin, which implies there was a previous Robin. So now the question becomes, who are they going to make that previous Robin? And how much of a time jump there's going to be, because in the comics, Damian Wayne didn't just show up and become Robin. So there is that. And Gunn's other universe Batman, but then mentions it's separate from Reeves' universe. So that's very confusing. So that's just such a very strange way of putting it. So they're admitting that the previous one was an Elseworld story, which I still find strange that James Gunn and Peter Safran would give an update for, since it is an Elseworld story. But this is saying that, no, that Robert Pattinson's Batman isn't our in-universe Batman. This one's going to be. But other universe? That is so weird. It's like saying that this guy isn't the in-universe Batman either. It's just bizarre. Okay. Sergeant Rock. In the wake of Daniel Craig stepping away from the Luca Guadagnino directed, or Guadagnino, I don't know, World War II movie scripted by Challenger scribe Justin Kuritzkis, the DC duo are looking for actors to play the title protag. Gunn and Safran said they never met with Craig and he was never attached. Added Safran, what we love about Sergeant Rock is the opportunity to tell a story about heroism and conflict in a compelling and unique way. Justin really wrote a wonderful screenplay, and that's what catapulted that project to the forefront. The movie will shoot this summer if they can find the right actor. And I did see about the casting. I did a video in November about the rumor that Daniel Craig was in the running for Sergeant Rock. And it turns out that maybe that was someone's wish list, but it never happened. He was never attached to the project. Maybe he was interested, but it was never greenlit that he was going to be in the movie. So, but yes, they are in the in the market for a actor to play Sergeant Rock. So, who do you guys think should play Sergeant Rock? I am not familiar with this character, um, but I'm curious what those who might be familiar with him, and I think I mentioned this in my November video, who do you think should be playing Sergeant Rock? I was surprised that they gave that to Daniel Craig, because in my mind, when I hear the name Sergeant Rock, I think of someone who's built, well, like The Rock, not like Daniel Craig, who is built, but not to that proportion. So I'm just curious who you guys would want to see, and what do you think is going on in the script? Is it going to be some timey-wimey things? Because let's face it, Sergeant Rock existed during, I think it was during Nam. No, it was World War II. World War II. So, since I don't think he has the same issue that, say, Captain America did, which is he was frozen in ice and that's how he became part of present day, either they have to move up what war he was a part of, or they're going to have to find some way to explain why he's still active and still young, fairly young in present day. Granted, Daniel Craig was not young, so I guess they're looking for an older actor, but still, Daniel Craig is not as old as he'd have to be to have fought in World War II. Anyway, next up we have Swamp Thing. The feature, which will investigate the dark origins of the Mudwater creature, has 5-time Oscar nominee James Mangold attached. The ball is really in his court, said Safran about the project moving forward. There was a Swamp Thing movie in 1982 starring Adrienne Barbeau, which also spawned a 1989 sequel. There was a 2019 CW series, which, unfortunately, for those who are familiar with the series and wondered why the hell it got canceled, well, it got canceled because there was some sort of accounting snafu with the studio and between the studio and the location where they were filming. There was some sort of somebody put the decimal point in the wrong place, so that really is what killed the project. So hopefully they'll do Swamp Thing justice. It has James Mangold, so hopefully. Alright, next up is Teen Titans. Anna Noguera turned in a draft. Anna is working on a script, and it's something she was really impassioned about. She turned over an amazing script to us. She's fiddling with that now. It's definitely not a finished script. So that's at least promising. They like the script, and it's just being tweaked. That's very promising. I'm going to guess that none of the actors who were in the Teen Titans TV show are going to end up in the movie. There are certain actors I would like to see again, like the actor who played oh shoot. I'm only thinking Red Hood, Jason Todd. He was really good. He really played maniacal really well, and then went back to what the hell just happened? What am I doing? How did I get here? What's going on? And somehow managed to marry the two, as Jason Todd does in the comics. So, yeah, there are certain actors I would love to see making it into the movies, but I haven't heard anything about James Gunn even extending for lack of a better term, an olive branch to them, saying, how would you like to come to the DCU? Or we'll keep you in mind for whether it's this character or a different character or whatever. Haven't heard anything. Okay, this one just says Matthew Orton screenplay. So, okay. The rumor is he's penning a screenplay about Deathstroke and Bane. Oh, that's the one. Neither Gunn or Safran would confirm. Still, they're waiting on Orton's draft. So, all we know is that Matthew Orton is writing a screenplay for the DCU, but we don't know anything else. So, I mean, maybe it's Deathstroke and Bane, or maybe it's going to turn into something else. I mean, maybe the intention was that, and then it pivoted and turned into something else. Maybe it will be. Who knows? But that sounds absolutely nuts. Either way. Alright, so next up we have The Authority, which I've never read those comics. I've never heard until the engineer was mentioned. I'd forgotten about The Authority. I'm familiar with them because of Apollo and what is his husband's name? I'm blanking. But so I'm familiar, but I've never read the comics. And so I was actually excited about this project. So this is what we have. The feature, which was announced 2 years ago, is set to follow a group of anti-heroes who take matters into their own hands despite what governments advise. The Authority was created after Stormwatch, a planetary defense force against aliens, was destroyed. The former members of that group, Jenny Sparks, created the Authority with her Stormwatch Black teammates Swift and Jack Hawksmoor. The team includes the Engineer, whom we'll see in Superman. It's played by Angela Spica, or that's the Engineer's real name. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe that's her real name. Jerron Thorndike, who is the latest Doctor. Okay. Apollo and Midnighter. That's the one. That's his husband. Slow go for the project, but Gunn and Safran still believe in it. Gunn says it's not the furthest along. Add Safran, it's a very big movie if you're going to do it properly. Some of the story elements perhaps that are in Superman and some of the other films we fast-tracked step a little on the Authority. Gunn further notes, it's the one that got messed with through all the other things that were happening. The script had a harder time coming along. So, that's not promising. It sounds like people cannibalized what the Authority was supposed to be about. Now, whether it was intentional or not, I do not know. But it sounds like the script was cannibalized for other projects, and now they're trying to figure something else out to do with the Authority. So hopefully, like I said, I'm excited about this project, so I would love to... I'm hoping that it actually gets made. Obviously, I wanted to have a good story, but I'm also excited about this project. Alright, so that's all for the movies. So let's move on to TV. So first up, we have Peacemaker. Season 2 of the Gunpen show is premiering August. Then we have Waller, the Viola Davis Suicide Squad and Peacemaker spinoff about the espionage director without scruples remains in the works despite a bumpy development road impacted by the strikes. Okay, so hopefully they'll get their sea legs under them because it sounds like it's only a development problem because of the strikes and not because it's just simply in development hell. So let's hope. Then we have Lanterns. Gunn and Safran noted they could safely say it will premiere in early 2026. This one I wasn't expecting. I was so sure that with all the awards being won for a limited series, we wouldn't see a season 2 of this one, but The Penguin. Season 2 is TBD, or to be determined. There's a lot of moving pieces, including Colin himself, that being Colin Farrell, the Penguin, said Safran about the next phase of the hit Max series about the Batman villain. I hope that means that Colin is busy and not that he doesn't want to do the Penguin anymore. Because from what I've heard, he loves the character, so. Alright, up next is Paradise Lost. The Max live action series, which Safran billed as a Game of Thrones-ish story about Themyscira, the home of the Amazons and the birthplace of Wonder Woman, is still in the works. No writer has been announced. So, who knows if that's going to actually end up being developed. Or if they even expected it to be developed this quickly. Maybe they weren't expecting to get a writer this fast anyway. Who knows? I mean, I love the lore of Themyscira. I would love to see more of it, but the Game of Thrones things, I don't know, that worries me. I know that Game of Thrones is super popular. But that's one of the things that worries me is that piggybacking off of something that's super popular, that has a good chance of going badly. So, here's hoping. Next, we have Booster Gold. The series follows a loser from the future. Oof, that's harsh. Who uses future technology to come back to today and pretends to be a superhero. Update Safran. We love Booster Gold. There was a particular showrunner/creator we were waiting on who expressed interest. We waited a really long time. Ultimately, he fell out of love. We pivoted. It's still one that's important to us. It's moving forward with somebody else. So, again, it's in limbo, just like the Themyscira series. Now, I heard rumors that Kumail Nanjiani is going to be playing Booster Gold. Now, that's just a rumor. I haven't seen anybody say that this is indeed the case. I guess, if you want to, you want a comedian Booster Gold is very a comedic role because he's this schmuck who tries to do good and fails miserably at it. So, that would be his shtick, but I don't know. I just don't know. So, anyway, we have one final entry. Blue Beetle, the animated series. Deadline's Rosie Cordero first told you about this. Okay. Safran said the project from Angel Manuel Soto and Gareth Dunnett Alcocer, the director and screenwriter of 2023 film, is getting to a place and they're going to present for a green light really soon. It follows on the events of that movie. And we know that I'm blanking on the actor's name, but he's going to remain as Blue Beetle. So that isn't going to change. It's just a matter of how many other people from that movie are going to come back and reprise their roles. Obviously his father, Jaime's father, and oh, what is her name? And the bad guys, I can't think of her name, but the one who died at the end saving Jaime and the Scarab. I'm going to say, that they're permadead. I mean, I guess it could be a soft reboot that, even though it takes place after the events of that movie, that could still mean that there are, because this is a new universe, that there might be some parts of that movie that are canon, but there are certain parts, like certain deaths, that aren't. That's always a possibility. There could be other people who lived through that movie who in this new universe are dead. We don't know. It could also but it's probably going to follow the end credits where the previous Blue Beetle, Ted Garrett, is trying to get a hold of his daughter. So it's possible that we're going to see Ted Garrett in this animated series. It's most likely going to be them trying to save Ted Garrett. But it's only a question of, do they save him? And who do they cast to play Ted Garrett? Because James Gunn has mentioned that those who voice their characters are going to play their characters in live action. So, obviously, they're going to want someone that they could see being Ted Garrett in live action. But that is all I have. Let me just click on this link about, well, we first told you about this. So this was back in June that this was mentioned. Let me see if there's... What the absolute heck is with all these pop-ups? All right, let's see if... Let's see. No, this is just a rehashing of... This is what happened in Blue Beetle. No. So... Nothing about casting. So anyway, that is all I have for this video. And with that, I will see you guys in the next one.